today let's see how to uh, configure IP address on Windows. Okay, so there is a protocol called DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, that we will see when we actually see how to configure these IP address manually, and then we will see what is DHCP protocol, what is DHCP server, how this protocol is used to issue IP address to all different systems in a LAN. Okay. So to configure an IP address on a Windows, you can go to control panel. So there are, you can do this from multiple locations. Okay. So multiple location means I mean to say you can reach the, you can set you can set this IP address on a network interface, but that network interface you can open that window using different ways, from control panel, from settings. Okay. So like that, I mean to say. So you can open, either you can open settings or you can open control panel. Okay. So see Wi-Fi internet, click on Wi-Fi internet. Okay, so you can see this when you can see the status of your network when it is connected here. So you have connected to through Wi-Fi. So did you configure IP address when you are connected through Wi-Fi? No. So who took care of assigning that IP address? The DHCP server, that is also available in your home router. Okay, so in our corporate our different organizations, we use altogether different server for DHCP. So if it is a very big network, sometimes that is embedded into the other servers as well. Okay, so yes, so from here, from settings, if you click on change adapter options, okay, so a new window will be open, so where you can see different adapters. So this is Windows machine. So as you can see cross mark here, which means that it is not connected. Okay, so Wi-Fi means it is connected. So to check this IP address, yesterday we have learned the how to check using IP config. Okay, let's do that thing as well. IP config. Type IP config there. No, IP config without space. Okay, this is your configuration, which is very minimal information. But do you see here lot of you don't see any of MAC address and all here. To see all of that information, IP config space /all. Space // no, yes, all, ALL, yes. Okay, as you can see, this will give you all access to information. So for each network adapter or network interface controller. Okay, so here you have Wi-Fi. As you can see, what is the MAC address, what IP assigned to this. Okay, what IP is assigned to this one? This is a physical address, which is MAC address. Okay, so what IP? DHCP server, what is DHCP server? It is this 192.168.0.1. okay, so and the gateway, which means that DHCP server is also running on gateway. Okay, that is the case with the home networks, home and small and medium office networks. So DHCP servers run on the same router on same machine. So but in big networks we would be using probably separate DHCP server. Okay, so gateway. So what is gateway? The router that you have installed between WAN and your home LAN, that is gateway. And DHCP server is also running on that. DHCP server is the one which takes care for the time being. Remember what is DHCP server? DHCP server is the one who takes care of assigning IP address. If there is no DHCP server, what happens? You should take responsibility to assign IP. So if there is no DHCP server in the network, what happens? Our system will check is network is configured to get IP, acquire IP over the DHCP. Then it will check for the DHCP, and if you find, if it doesn't find anything, automatic IP address will be assigned. Okay. Okay, so otherwise what you need to do, you need to search, you need to manually configure IP address. Okay, and what is the IP address? This interface, this is the one, as you can see. Okay, so that is IP. And scroll down. If you scroll up, can you see IP address for Ethernet? No, because it is not connected. Okay, so now let's go to here. So here, so one more thing, like I said, there are multiple ways to reach here. The one is from settings, another one is from control panel, or you can copy this. You can open Explorer, okay, and you can paste that in address bar as well. Paste and hit enter. Okay, so yeah, so you can actually reach that way as well. Okay, now hello. Okay, so now what do you see here? You would see all of the network interfaces. How many network interfaces do you have here? Okay, so now yes, 1 and 2. Now go to right click to check this thing, to check what is IP, and to configure any IP address. What you can do, you can right click on properties, and you will see. So here typically you will see whatever information you have seen on console, terminal, command prompt. So you will see the same information here, but graphically. Okay, so here these are different modules that are running on this interface adapter. Okay, so here is IPv4. You can disable any one of them. If you disable IPv4, it cannot actually communicate over the network using IPv4. Okay, enable, disable. Okay, so these are all different protocols. You see, these are link layer protocols, which is layer 2 protocols. So IP address is layer 3 protocol. Okay, so now when you click on IPv4, you will get properties. Click on properties. Can you see here the IP information? So which one is set, static or dynamic? Static means manually configuring IP address yourself. So what is configured here? Obtain an IP address automatically. What does it mean? Use DHCP to get the IP address. Okay, so if you use following IP address, which means that you will configure IP address manually. Okay, so you can enter here 192.168.0.72 or 54, anything. Okay, and subnet mask. You need to enter subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Okay, and default gateway, which is always your router. Here in this case, okay, default gateway may change. Okay, so according to the different networks, but the mostly what is a default gateway for home and small and medium office networks, which will be the router, which is assuming that is a single network, then always it will be the router IP that differentiates WAN and your LAN. Okay, so that IP by convention we put a 1.0.1 or 1.1. Okay, in fact that IP, the gateway IP can be anything, but by convention we use 1.1 or 0.1, which means that 192.168.1.1 or 192.168.0.1. Okay, so what happens if you don't configure your IP and there is no DHCP server on Windows, APIP address will be assigned, which stands for automatic private IP addressing. That is a block reserved. One of the this is also called link local IP address. That block is again another. This block is also special block like a private IP addresses we have. So these IP addresses, one of the IP address from this block is assigned to your system. Okay, so that IP starts from 169.254. Okay, so here enter 190.168. So not this one. Let's cancel this one because we connected to this one, so we can experiment over here. Okay, so properties, use IP address manually, click on OK. Okay, yeah, so enter one of the IP, any IP 192, yes, 0.54, 0.54, yes, and subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Now what is this subnet mask, what it represents, we will learn in a coming session. Okay, so like I said, yes, that is a default one. This is, remember, the open IP addresses. Why is this subnet mask is chosen? Because there is a reason for that. Okay, that is a default subnet mask for a class, that class of IP address. Okay, so that is a class C 190.168 is, and class C has a default subnet mask 24. So open our IP addresses on getKT. Yeah, scroll down. Yes, what is here you see, what is a subnet mask is a 24. Okay, so this is prefix notation. Can you see what is /24? What is dotted decimal notation? 255.255.255.0. Okay, this is the default subnet mask for classful IP address. And what IP address, the private IP address, if you scroll down, there is a private IP addresses blocks. Yes, so this 190.168, this one is class C IP address, right? Yes, class C has a default subnet mask /24 or 255.255.255.0. Okay, yes, that one, that one. Okay, if it is 10, that is a default subnet mask. But nowadays, So we are not using classful IP addresses, we are using classless IP addressing. Okay, so that subnet mask varies. That thing we will learn. So thing is that system detector, that is a class C, so it pre-populated that with a default subnet mask. Okay, and you need to enter default gateway. So which is your, so how do you know default gateway? So default gateway is a router that any router that provides access to another network. Yes, 192. Okay, so any router that if separates your network and other network. Okay, so that is one. Yes. Okay, and if you don't give DNS, what happens? Your internet will not work. So what is DNS? Internet will work, but thing is that you can't access websites. You can't browse. Why? We need DNS to translate domain name into IP address. Why we use this thing? Because we can't typically remember all sorts of 4 billion IP addresses. Okay, so 4 billion IP addresses that are randomly used for different servers. So there is a public IP 8.8.8. is a DNS server offered by Google. Okay, so you can set that thing, or ISP internet service providers are also provide a DNS. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no. So yeah, use DNS, type 8.8.8.8. So can you see DNS server, the on a command prompt, in a command prompt, you can also see what kind of DNS server your system is using. DNS server is also 190.168.0.1, your gateway. But on your router, that uses another DNS server. Your router might be using public DNS or a DNS provider offered by ISP, internet service provider. Okay, so you can click on save. Okay, so after you save, yes, you can click on close, but still there's a cross mark. Why? Because we haven't connected any wire. Okay, so if you connect any Ethernet, it will try to actually connect with a gateway router using that IP. So if there is a connection, yes, so, and we will get this green mark here. Okay, so imagine you are the network engineer, and your lab, let's say you are working at university or any the big corporate company. There are hundreds of computers. Imagine how much time do you need to set IP address manually on each system, going there, and you need to make sure that two systems should not have a same IP address. So what happens if two systems have a same IP address? What happens? There will be unpredictable behavior in the network, because packets sometimes will be delivered to this and delivered to that. Okay, that will create a chaos. Okay, so if you just in case, if you assign multiple systems a same IP address, so they don't experience a smooth internet. Okay, so access. Yeah. See, you can also access all those systems from server. But thing is that before that, you need to assign IP to all of them, right? See, even though you are the administrator, you have a dedicated server. From that server, you can access all of them. But before you access, you need to configure IP in all of those systems. Then only you can access all of them. Then when you are configuring manually, you need to take a list and you need to note down all of each IP address you configured on each system. Let's say you want to change some IP address and you need to identify, so you need to do that for 100 systems. How much time you need probably 2 days, or if there are many systems, you need probably a week. That is a dumb approach. Okay, it is a good approach. Probably you have a few computers below 10. Okay, it is a good approach probably for your home, and small and medium, around, let's say, less than 10 computers, or a few manageable computers. Okay, so there you can decide. But when you have hundreds of computers, it is a not feasible approach. You sometimes, and you will tend to make a mistakes. Yeah, for that reason only you use DHCP. Okay, so if you use DHCP, all you need to do is configure DHCP in your gateway, or some dedicated machine. Put DHCP on that. That's it. You are done. Okay, so you will actually put rules on DHCP, what IP address block to use, and the how much time you need to lease the IP. That's it. You are done. All systems in your LAN, local area network, will acquire IP address automatically. So the through DHCP, they not only acquire a IP address, they also acquire a subnet mask, DNS. Okay, so even some extra information as well. So here, from here, okay, the what through DHCP, what these systems will acquire, the anything you are configuring here will be acquired through DHCP. So in such a case, all you need to do is that by default, most of the systems will come with this DHCP obtained automatically. So in fact, you don't need to do anything. Okay, so in your lab, in your work, you don't need to do anything, in fact, because it is default setting. So all you need to do is just configure DHCP. All systems will connect to internet automatically. Okay, and so in the coming session we will learn. See, DHCP by default for a home and small and medium networks, it is by default on router. For big networks, bigger ones, we configure DHCP on dedicated machine. Okay, for DHCP there is a software available, DHCP server. Okay, DHCP server, there are two parts: DHCP server and DHCP client. Okay, so DHCP server is what we install on a dedicated machine, or anything we use in a LAN, and all these systems by default come with a DHCP client. Okay, so do we have a packet tracer on this machine? Okay, so we will see using packet tracer, we will simulate.